Right, we're just planning to send a probe to Venus to study its atmosphere. What kind of requirements should we base our mission design off of?
Well, we want to make sure that we have a good orbiter as well as a probe that we're using that can withstand 50 bar of pressure as well as 800 degrees Fahrenheit. Got it?
What this really needs to be is financially prudent. Venus sounds very far away, and I do not want the American taxpayer paying thousands of dollars out of their pockets.
Better
to
be
fund
cheap, man.
This terrible waste.
We also
of
really
money.
want to investigate the possibility of life
receive a lot
on
of
Venus,
government
so
funding
organic
if we do not
compounds,
think that
possibly
there is any
phosphine.
kind of
Is this gonna get me a job?
Again, yes, jobs are very important.
We also want to make
And
sure
also
Where
the
is the
diplomatic
money coming
applications
from?
are really important.
Where
I
is
want
it
you
all
working
coming
with
from?
Russia, China, Japan, the European Union. I want you working with India.
This
Canada,
needs to be a historical
Congo,
event.
Senegal. I need you working with Sri Lanka, Australia.
Space will try to kill you throughout your entire journey. Destruction is guaranteed. Okay. First off, it is extremely cold in space. Your orbiter on your probe will freeze upon instant impact upon leaving the atmosphere. Second, it is extremely hot on the surface of Venus and in the atmosphere. Your probe will start to burn up instantly as it approaches explosions. Third, there is a lot of pressure on Venus. 50 bar, 50 times Earth's atmosphere. Your probe will be crushed from the outside inside. Flares. Meteoroids are flying throughout space. If any of them impact you, it'll be complete and utter mission critical failure.
The communists want you to fail.
What?
Go crazy.
Hello and welcome to the critical design review of the Venusian Orbital Insertion Drone Swarm Mission Design, or VOIDS for short. Now this is the design for our VOIDS, and these VOIDS will be strategically released into the atmosphere of Venus in order to study areas of interest and take atmospheric measurements. And these areas of interest will be determined through the use of an orbiter, which will be traveling in elliptical orbit around Venus, and at perigee, we'll be looking for areas of interest and dropping these VOIDS at those areas.
Very interesting. Can you go a little more in depth into how you actually developed the concepts for this plan?
The concepts for this mission were mostly developed through the use of prior art and prior measurements.
How did you choose between your design concept alternatives?
We decided between our many options through the use of a weighted design matrix, such as this one, in which we decided that we would be using a raindrop parachute method for the shape and method of these voids falling through the atmosphere. And similarly, we use another weighted design matrix in which we chose the rotating barrel method as opposed to the helical conveyor belt for how we would be dropping each of these voids from the orbiter.
I see that this mission will require a lot of delta V. I'm curious, what engines do you use?
We used another weighted design matrix for this, in which we chose between the Merlin 1D vacuum engine and the Lightning 1 engine. And through the use of these three criteria, we were able to decide on the Merlin 1D vacuum engine as the final option for the second stage. Here are the delta V components of our mission, in which we have 2 kick stages to travel from Earth to Venus. And here is the mission profile, or the mission timeline for how we will be getting our payload from Earth all the way to Venus.
What other calculations did you use while developing this mission design?
One set of calculations we did do were mass calculations, in which we used these equations in order to estimate the masses of every component of our rocket. On top of that, we also did a trajectory analysis in which we determined the parameters for getting the rocket from the surface of the Earth into Leo, leaving Leo, and entering a rendezvous orbit around Venus, and finally settling into the final elliptical orbit for its mission function. And these are the equations we used for determining the parameters. All right, thank you all for coming to the critical design review for the VOIDS mission design. Are there any additional comments?
This mission has a lot of potential. I really hope to see how it develops throughout the next coming months.
Ladies and gentlemen, Think Inc. presents to you the boys! Of one of these boys. 90 of these tomorrow will embark on the 150-day journey to the planet Venus in search for life.
Here is a realistic CGI rendition of what this journey will look like. This is a first strike by the indomitable human spirit against the cold, dead universe. Godspeed, America! And that little Timmy is how he sent 90 probes to study the atmosphere of Venus.
Wow, Grandpa, what lessons did you learn?
We learned many lessons on our journey. For one, sending stuff to space is expensive, so you must be very resourceful. On top of that, you must remember to always communicate your findings to a diverse group of people. They'll give you the feedback needed to make your design the best. On top of that, you must sacrifice some ideas for the sake of functionality. And lastly, space is hard, and you will fail. But you must always remember, never back down, never what?
Never give up.